Let's just go to the hallway and think about it. There's probably other options out there.
I've been looking for you, Tono-kun.
Oh, Seal-senpai.
Hi, I'm Avaris Arcueid, and welcome back to Tsukihime. We did not meet the titular Tsukihime Moon Princess, our beautiful waifu, Arcueid, in part 1, but we did see the prologue where protagonist Shiki's mom was murdered, and the trauma sent him to the hospital with amnesia and the eyes of death perception. He also met his teacher, who gave him special glasses so he wouldn't see the death lines anymore. Time skip, and he's going back to his family's house after being expelled for like 8 or 9 years, they said. And we met Seal-senpai in the yard before Shiki was very annoyed by his friends in the classroom. And now, we will continue.
It's lunchtime. Now then, where should I eat lunch? Oh, we have to actually make a choice. Eat lunch in class, go to the cafeteria, go in the hallway to think about it. I'm not even sure what this would influence. Eat in the classroom, he'd probably be annoyed by his friends, cafeteria. Let's just go to the hallway and think about it. There's probably other options out there. During lunchtime, the hall is packed. Students head to the cafeteria or to their favorite places, lunches in hand. Caught in the flow of people, I contemplate whether I should go to the cafeteria or the store. I'm somewhat taken aback at my own leisure. If I have time to waste, it'd be better to go to the cafeteria where Arihiko is. I begin walking towards the cafeteria. On the way there, a familiar face waves and runs up to me.
Thank goodness. I've been looking for you, Tono-kun.
Oh, Seal-senpai. Hello. I feel embarrassed for some reason and return her unusual greeting.
Yes, hello. Well, we've already met once today, so I guess it's not proper to say hello. Assuming there's something lost in translation there. A small smile floats onto Senpai's face as if she's found something amusing.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. I avert my eyes and give a lukewarm reply, becoming increasingly embarrassed. I wonder, I should be used to speaking to Senpai like this, but for some reason, I'm getting embarrassed.
Tono-kun, do you have some urgent business? You seem a bit unsettled.
No, nothing like that. I don't, but for some reason her every move feels unfamiliar. I can't calm down. It's nothing. More importantly, Senpai, you said you were looking for me? Do you need me for something?
Well, I wanted to thank you for this morning, so I was looking for you.
For this morning? Ah, you mean in the courtyard?
Of course. Sorry to ask, but are you going to have lunch?
I sigh. Well, people usually eat lunch at lunchtime.
Great. Then we can eat together. I'll treat you as thanks for this morning. Let's go to the cafeteria.
Eh? Senpai smiles. Grabbing my wrist, she starts to walk. It's strange enough for a third year like Senpai to walk down the second year hall, but this attracts even more attention. The gazes of the students in the hall fall upon Senpai and me, and a murmur of conversation starts. Wait just a second. It's alright, you don't have to. I quickly shake her off my arm. I only did what I did this morning on a whim. There's no need for you to thank me. I draw back from Senpai, well aware of how flushed my face is.
There's no need to be so reserved. Work should be rewarded. So please, let me treat you.
Senpai grabs a hold of my arm again. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, I just couldn't say that I'm embarrassed to be with her because we stand out so much.
Come on, there won't be any seats left if we don't hurry. I'll listen to the details after we get to the cafeteria.
Senpai starts walking again, pulling my arm with a tug. Any further questions would bring more stares from the people around us in the hall. I don't know what Senpai is planning, but I peacefully accompany her to the cafeteria. Almost all the seats in the cafeteria are taken. I had spent about 10 minutes in the hallway, first spaced out, then talking with Senpai, so empty cafeteria seats are pretty much non-existent.
I'll stand in line, Tono-kun, so please go get some seats. Is there any food you don't like? If there is, now's the time to let me know.
Nope, there isn't. I'm not picky with food.
Very well. I won't take long.
Senpai lines up with everyone else. It seems my only choice is to obediently accept that she'll be treating me. But there aren't any seats left. I look around the bustling cafeteria. You can't find even 2 seats at this hour, let alone 2 seats together. There. I sigh. There, plain as day, is a table with not only 2, not 3, but 4 unoccupied seats. There's only one student sitting at the table, and it seems he noticed me while I was looking around for a seat. Yo, Tono! The student vigorously waving his hand is my dear classmate with the dyed orange hair. My head hurts. But there isn't anywhere else to sit. I have no choice but to return the wave and walk toward the table where my friend is sitting. You're late! I told you to hurry because I've invited a special guest today! What the heck have you been up to? Arihiko begins to complain as soon as we're face to face. Yeah, come to think of it, you did. So who is it? Huh, about that. She promised me yesterday she'd come, but she declined this morning. She said she has someone she wanted to thank or something, so she'd be busy this lunchtime. Arihiko sighs as he eats his chikara udon. Someone she wanted to thank. Those words catch my attention. Arihiko, that special guest wouldn't happen to be a third-year student, would she? Whoa! Arihiko's body jumps in shock. A rather energetic girl wearing glasses. Whoa! Arihiko begins quivering. The students at the tables around us stand up as if to make a fast escape. Are you psychic? Arihiko points at me fearfully. No, that doesn't mean I'm psychic.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Good to see you found a seat, Tono-kun.
There. Senpai arrives with a smile carrying a silver tray. Arihiko's eyes are wide open in surprise.
Huh? Inui-kun? What a coincidence!
Still smiling, Senpai takes her seat. Arihiko gives a choked response.
Here you go, Tono-kun. Please eat until you're full.
Even after all this time, I still can't shake off her smile. Alright. In that case, thanks for the food. Taking Arihiko's dumbfounded stare in stride, I sit down. Senpai sits in front of me while Arihiko sits beside me. Itadakimasu. Thanks for the food. Putting my hands together with a clap, I look down at the tray Senpai brought. And on the menu is curry rice, and curry udon. I don't get it. Senpai.
Yes? What is it, Tono-kun?
About this. What's going on?
What do you mean? It's lunch, isn't it? What else does it look like?
What else, you say? But all I see is curry.
Yes, it's curry.
Senpai laughs happily. The problem is, they all look like curry. There's 3 dishes.
Of course! You're a boy, so you eat a lot. I'll have just one, so please take whatever you like.
Okay. In that case, I'll take the curry rice and curry udon. The other choices, hell.
Make sure to finish it, Tono-kun. After all, you aren't picky with food, are you? I am getting some severe flashbacks to Fate's Day Night and the breakfast scenes that just happened every single time. I know some people were like a real fan of those, and it even got like a spin-off manga and stuff where it's like breakfast with the Emias. But seriously, it was the most boring part for me, and I'm getting some flashbacks here where it's like, is this gonna be every meal segment? Okay, no more delays, just go on. Power through. I can do it.
There isn't a shred of antagonism in Senpai's smile, nor is this some kind of a joke. She truly had good intentions. Yes, thanks for the food. I dig into the curry rice with my spoon in despair, and then, Tono-kun! From beside me came the cry of a dead man being reborn. How long are you gonna ignore your dear best friend? Arihiko's elbow sinks into the side of my stomach with a thud.
Eh? Inui-kun, do you know Tono-kun?
Do I know him? We've been best friends since middle school. My best friend hits the table with a bang for emphasis.
Really? The person who helped me this morning was Tono-kun.
Oh yeah? If you had told me his name, I would have brought him here. So, did this guy do something for you?
Yes, he helped me fix my splints.
Huh? He helped you fix your shin splints? Arihiko frowned suspiciously. Well, I guess you would consider helping someone fix their shin splints a bit odd.
No, fixing splints. Please don't make me angry when I'm eating.
Chio-senpai gets angry. She seems to be someone you can never tire of watching. Fixing splints. Ah, the splints of the courtyard! You were at it again? You sure enjoy that kind of thing, senpai, but you'd be better off if you gave up. If you keep doing things like that, the teachers will start expecting you to do them.
That's alright. I do it because I enjoy it. You shouldn't talk about the teachers like that, though, you know. They really care about the school.
I'm finding it difficult to follow their conversation. Senpai, don't tell me you normally do that sort of thing. Yeah. Didn't you know, Tono? Seal-senpai is so handy they call her the shadow president of the student council. No, I was asking senpai. Wait, never mind. What on earth is the shadow president? Is she strong? I ask with my eyes. Yeah, responds Arihiko with an exaggerated nod. She's quite something. Totally unlike the student council, which is the student council in name only. She's a third year who will solve anything for you if you ask her. Even got a fan club among the first years. And if something happens, the teachers all rely on her. There isn't a single teacher who complains about what senpai does. Arihiko speaks with pride as if he was actually talking about himself. Wow, Seal-senpai sure is amazing. Even the teachers rely on you. I look at senpai impressed.
Yes. Thank you.
Senpai turns bright red, embarrassed. Senpai churns curry rice with her spoon. I guess it's to hide her embarrassment, but it reminds me of the enemy I have to face. Curry rice by itself is fine, but after that awaits curry udon. My doctor warned me not to eat too much, but I don't think there's anything else in this situation that I can do, so I start to dig into the rice. Yum yum. Having decided to try to finish one dish quickly, I direct all my concentration to the rice. Meanwhile, Senpai and Arihiko begin talking about their own homes for some reason. I already know that Arihiko doesn't live with his parents, but it seems Senpai is also living by herself. Apparently Senpai's apartment is quite close to the school. It's roughly between Main Street and the park.
So Tono-kun, where do you live?
Huh? I silently eat my food when Senpai, peering at me, asks a completely unrelated question. Why do you ask, Senpai?
You already heard where I live, right, Tono-kun? I think it's unfair if I don't know where your house is.
Unfair? You worry about the strangest things, Senpai.
It's not strange. If I don't know where you live, I can't visit you if something happens, right?
I stop eating the curry rice. I have the feeling that something has been said that I should be jubilant about. Visit? You mean you'd come and visit me if I catch a cold or something?
No, I wouldn't. I don't have any plans to visit at the moment.
Smiling, Senpai replies instantly as if stating the obvious. Huh. It seems like the euphoria is premature. Senpai doesn't seem to have any unusual intentions. I see now that's just the way she is. I guess I have to tell you. Yeah, my house is nearby too, only a 40-minute walk. There's a residential district on top of the hill, right? Just go a little further and you're there. Oh yeah, you're moving today, right? Arihiko strikes his hand on the desk. Senpai tilts her head slightly.
Moving? Tono-kun, were you a transfer student?
Huh? Senpai asks a strange question. Arihiko meets my gaze. Listen, I've been here since the first year. We've known each other since then, right? Why are you asking me if I'm a transfer student now?
But Tono-kun, you moved yesterday, so...
Moving doesn't automatically make you a transfer student. I'm just changing my address, not my school. Until now, I've been living with some relatives in the neighboring town. I'm just going back to my real home, that's all. Senpai, who wears a look of surprise, seems to understand.
I see, you've only changed your residence, so now you live in the outskirts of town.
Yeah. It's that colorful place on top of the hill. I'm moving there today.
Huh. Could that possibly be the Tono-san mansion?
Senpai asks with some hesitation. You know, it's not like you've been calling him Tono-san the whole time. The Western-style house at the top of the hill is probably seen as something special by the residents of this town. I haven't been there for 8 years, but even in my memories, the Tono mansion was ridiculously large. Yeah, that's right. I don't think it's the right place for me either, but it's too late now that I'm done moving. You don't seem too happy about it. It's neither good nor bad. I don't quite understand it either. Well, even if it is your house, it's been 8 years, right? I can understand if you're feeling strange. It'll probably feel like someone else's house for a while. I wonder if that's so. I haven't gone back yet, so I don't know. Well, I'm a bit relaxed since I've always got a refuge at your place. Yeah, right. My house is no refuge of yours. When you come over during the holidays, my sister treats you better than me. That's probably only because Arihiko has terrible behavior. But I refrain from telling him that in the interests of preventing the conversation from getting any worse. To be honest, it's not pleasant to have my home raised as a topic of conversation.
Wow. You two certainly get along well.
Senpai peers at Arihiko and me. No way! Me and Tono would never help each other, no matter how much trouble we were in. In other words, we're enemies, mademoiselle. Arihiko says in a fed-up tone. I'm getting pretty fed up myself with this pseudo-foreignerisms, too.
But your relationship is so good that Tono couldn't have stayed over at your house before, right? Doesn't that mean you get along really well?
You're wrong, Senpai. That darn Tono is too reserved towards his parents, and he'd come over to my place every vacation. He's reserved towards them because they're taking care of him. That's why he comes over to my place, where we conveniently have an empty room. Since he looks pretty decent, my sister took a liking to him, and he shamelessly comes to stay with us without paying a cent. Arihiko's fist trembles as if to say, unforgivable.
Taking care, Tono-kun?
Arihiko clamps a hand over his mouth. Sorry, I should have thought before I spoke. It's okay. You didn't say anything bad. I continue to eat my food without looking at Arihiko. Really? Yeah, you're right. If you complained about that, you'll be in for some punishment. Arihiko nods to himself in agreement. His overwhelming optimism is something I'm truly envious of.
I'm sorry, Tono-kun. Did you not get along with your previous family?
No, that's not it. He has no problem with the Arimas. Oh, the Arimas were the family who took care of him. They're really nice people, and from what I could tell, they're a happy family. Even so, he refused to be their adopted kid, and he escaped to my place every vacation. Sheesh, just what were you not satisfied with anyway? There's nothing I wasn't satisfied about. It's just that I've received so much from them already. I didn't want to be a further burden on them. I finish my rice as I reply. Now only the curry udon is left. It's okay, Senpai. Sorry for making you listen to something so boring.
Not at all. I'm sorry for asking you something so strange.
Senpai forces herself to look cheerful. The topic might be fine for a long-time friend like Arihiko, but a complex matter like this would only have been troublesome for Senpai. And to prove my point, Senpai sits there uneasily. Senpai, sorry, but I've got something private to talk to Tono about. Would you mind leaving? Arihiko has no problems making such an offensive request. Isn't that phrase an indirect, no, a direct way of saying, we don't want you, Senpai, so get lost? You idiot! What do you think you're saying? We can discuss those things anywhere, and Senpai is still finishing her lunch. Despite all the talking with Arihiko, Senpai has finished her rice anyway.
No, I understand. Well then, I'll be leaving.
Senpai lowers her head in a quick bow and leaves. Only Haruhiko and I remain at the table. I sigh. Well, it looks like Senpai was having a hard time too, so it was for the best, but you were really pushing it there, Haruhiko. Well, it's not like I had a choice. Anyways, I guess I'll take the role of the guy she ends up disliking. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Haruhiko slurps away at his chikara udon. It seems it has gone cold while we were talking to Senpai. Sorry, you were trying to hit on Senpai, weren't you? Of course! She's probably the #1 girl at our school. But if she's the type to care about something like that, then she's not worth it. Oh yeah, I really do have something to talk to you about in private. Huh? Arihiko's voice turned serious. I split my chopsticks with a snap and began to eat my udon. What's wrong? Why so serious all of a sudden? I'll let you know right now that I don't have any money. From today onwards, I'm going to be living life as a penniless student. It's not that, dang it. What I want to know is this. What's really going on with you, Tono? What do you mean? You've been at the Arima since primary school, right? I don't know why, but it's been 8 years already. Your dad has basically disinherited you. Why is he calling you back all of a sudden? I see. In his own strange way, Arihiko is worried about me. He didn't disinherit me. He just kicked me out of the house somehow. Tono-kun, if there ever was a family that kicked their kid out of the house somehow, that's not a tragedy, it's a comedy. Oh, it's a party joke, but it's so boring, it's not funny. I don't know, that sounds pretty tragic, honestly. Arihiko spreads his arms and shrugs. Yeah, I guess you're right. If you get kicked out of the house, all you can really do is laugh. And then he said some cliche line like, never step foot in this house again, or something, right? That's what people would call disinheritance. Come to think of it, I've never heard why you were disinherited. Who knows? That's something I'd like to know too. Well, if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. Grabbing his bowl with both hands, Arihiko drains what is left of his Chikara udon. Lunchtime is short. Following Arihiko, I decide to quickly finish my curry udon. The last class of the day ends. I don't feel like going to the mansion right away, so I just blankly stare out the window overlooking the school grounds. The classroom is dyed orange by the sunset. It's like red watercolor paint and it hurts my eyes. I don't like red. It feels like it soaks deep into the back of my eyes and I want to throw up. It seems I'm weak against things that resemble blood. No, I should say I'm weak against blood itself. 8 years ago I had a near-death experience. I was in an accident where I was injured in the chest and I teetered between life and death for days. I should have died instantly, but miraculously I survived. Maybe it's because of the great medical treatment. However, the injuries were so severe that I don't even remember the accident. 8 years ago when I was a child, I felt a thud pass right through the middle of my chest, then I passed out. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed. All I could remember afterwards was the pain and the cold. I don't remember much of the accident, but even today, the scar on my chest remains. I guess numerous fragments of glass pierced my chest, leaving burn-like scars there and in my back. Actually, I was quite surprised at being saved. Ever since then, I frequently collapsed from an anemia like dizziness and caused a lot of trouble for others. Maybe that's why my old man believed I was unfit to be the heir to the Tono household, and entrusted me to our relatives. The wound on my chest, huh? The huge scar in the middle of my chest hidden from view by my uniform. Now that I think about it, after the accident was when I started to see those lines. I am able to forget them thanks to the glasses that Sensei gave me, but I think I would have completely gone mad if I never met her. Keiko-san, the person who had been my mother up until now, said that when I left the Tono household wasn't normal. No problem. I'm not a normal person myself. Adjusting my crooked glasses, I pick up my bag. I can't stay in the classroom forever. Get a hold of myself and head to the mansion, stay in school a while longer. I'll just head to the mansion. I walk along a different path than the one I usually take. Passing through unfamiliar streets, I slowly approach the Tono mansion. The surroundings are not completely unfamiliar. After all, I had lived here until I was 9 years old, 8 years ago. This is not the first time I've taken this path back to the mansion. My feelings are a little complex. The path home is nostalgic, yet fresh. Up until now, I had not looked forward to returning to the Tono household. Now it doesn't seem so bad. The house I lived in until I was 9 years old. Right now, my sister Akiha is in that utterly un-Japanese Western-style mansion. Tono Makihisa, the old man who hated me and the master of the Tono household, died a few days ago. My mother died from illness after Akiha was born, so the Tonos had dwindled down to me and my sister. Being the eldest son, you would think I would stand to become the Tono heir, but I have no such privilege. To become the Tono heir means being bound by a strict upbringing. I've lost count of the number of times my father scolded me over my dislike of not being able to live freely. That was when I got involved in that accident. My body became weakened. My father saw it as a good opportunity to get rid of me. His reasoning was something along the lines of, someone who could die at any moment can't become the heir, even if he is the eldest son. Sadly for my father, I betrayed his expectations by making a recovery, but my sister Akiha was already deemed to be the heir to the Tono household. And so I've heard that Akiha, who was already being raised harshly in order to become a proper daughter of the Tono household, received an even harsher upbringing since then. That was a long time ago. I played together with Akiha in the mansion before the accident. After that, I never saw her again. Apparently, Akiha tried to visit me a few times when I first was entrusted to the Arinas. Unfortunately, we were never able to meet because I had to go to the hospital every day. We completely lost contact after Akiha went to boarding school. Unlike Akiha, I'm isolated from the main family. That's why I can live freely like this. My high school is just an average high school, and our chance of contact was pretty much zero. My old man died, and I received word telling me to come back. To be blunt, I had no intention whatsoever of returning to the Tono house, but Akiha is at that house. When we were children, Akiha was an obedient child, always looking frightened as if she were constantly enduring something. She would always follow close behind, her footsteps pattering behind me. She was frail, and her long black hair and fancy Western clothes made her resemble a French doll. I'm worried about her living all alone in that big mansion with the old man gone. But more than anything, I feel guilty after pushing all the Tono family responsibilities on her, and selfishly living a free life by myself. Perhaps my acceptance to return to the mansion is like my apology to Akiha. The Tono mansion is unnecessarily big. Surrounded by iron railings, you could say the entire lot is abnormally expansive, being so large that a whole elementary school could fit inside. The garden, surrounded by trees, is more like a forest. The mansion is at the heart of that forest, and there are a few other buildings separated from it. I don't think anything of it when I was a child, but now that I have lived in an ordinary household for 8 years, the excessive size feels almost criminal. The gates aren't locked. I push them open and head towards the mansion doors. They tower oppressively, bearing down on any visitors. Beside the iron double doors is an unmatching doorbell. Alright. Shaking off my nervousness, I press it. There isn't any affectionate ding-dong chime from the doorbell. The oppressive silence continues for a few seconds. Then the sound of pattering footsteps behind the door indicates someone's presence.
We have been waiting for you.
The door opens with a creak. Inside lay the lobby I remembered, and a young girl in an apron.
Thank goodness. You're so late, I was beginning to worry that you had gotten lost. I was thinking about going out to meet you if you hadn't arrived by sunset.
The girl in the anachronistic apron smiles warmly. No, that's, I'm so taken aback by her outdated mode of dress that I can't even form a proper sentence. Perhaps attributing my hesitance to distrust, the girl tilts her head a little.
You're Shiki-sama, aren't you?
Yeah, but you don't have to call me Sama.
You are, right? Oh, please don't scare me like that. I was beginning to think I had made another mistake back there.
The girl's mannerisms are like those of a mother scolding her child, but in spite of that, there's a smile on her face, and it doesn't break the warm feeling about her. She wears an apron over a kimono. She comes out to greet the guests and addresses someone like me with Sama. That must mean that she's... are you one of the maids here by any chance? The girl answers my question with nothing but a smile.
Come, you must be tired. Please do come in. Akiha-sama is waiting for you in the sitting room.
The girl quickly crosses the lobby and heads toward the sitting room. Turning back as if she just remembered something, she makes a bow with a full smile on her face.
Welcome home, Shiki-sama.
Her greeting is accompanied by her flower-like smile. I can't think of a reply, so I just follow her hesitatingly. Guided by the girl, I head to the sitting room. It's as if I'm seeing it for the first time. I don't know if I've forgotten about it in the last 8 years, or if they had it refurbished since then. Either way, it feels like someone else's house now, and it's unsettling. As I'm looking around the sitting room, the maid in the apron lowers her head in a quick bow.
I've brought Shiki-sama with me. Well done. You may return to the kitchen, Kohaku. Thank you.
It seems that maid's name is Kohaku. Kohaku-san gives me a small bow as if to say farewell, and leaves the sitting room. This leaves me and two girls I don't recognize.
It has been a long time, Nissan.
Says the girl with long black hair and sharp eyes. All my thought processes stop at once. My mind goes blank and I can't think of any words of greeting. All I can do is nod with a yeah. I don't think it can be helped. This Akiha that I had not seen in 8 years is not the Akiha I remember. She's completely transformed into a proper young lady of a noble family.
Nissan.
The black-haired girl tilts her head slightly. Pathetically, all I can say are dumb-sounding things. My mind is turning in somersaults as I try to recognize the girl before me as Akiha, but it seems like Akiha already recognizes me as her brother.
You do not look well. Would you like to rest before we talk?
Akiha throws a sharp glance in my direction. Is it just my imagination that she looks like she's in a bad mood? No, I'm alright. I was just surprised at how much you've changed, Akiha.
People do change over the course of 8 years, Nissan. We are at an age of change, or did you think we would remain as we were forever?
What is this? I can feel the thorns in Akiha's words. No, you've definitely changed, Akiha. You've become more beautiful than before. That isn't flattery, it's how I really feel, and...
Indeed. But you, on the other hand, have not changed much at all.
Akiha answers coldly, her eyes closed. Well, I came prepared for something like this. It is as I had thought. It seems Akiha does not think well of me.
If you are feeling well, let us finish our conversation. You have yet to hear the details about why you were called back here, Nissan.
I have heard nothing more than a sudden comeback to the mansion, though I found out the old man passed away in the papers. If the head of a major company dies, it definitely makes it in the financial papers. Word of Tono Makihisa's death reached his son Tonoshiki via the newspaper after the funeral. Even though his relatives hadn't told him, this disinherited son could pick up news of his father's death merely by buying a 100-yen newspaper. It might be cynical of me to say so, but the world has certainly become a convenient place.
I am sorry. It was my fault you did not get the news about father.
Akiha quietly lowers her head. It's alright. Either way, it's not like he would come back from the dead if I went. It's not something you should be worried about.
I am sorry. It is somewhat comforting to hear you say that.
Akiha's face is serious, but this is not a topic I care much about. A funeral is a ceremony for those who cannot let go of their feelings for the deceased to achieve such detachment. For someone like me, who cut off such feelings a long time ago, there is no need.
Calling you back here was my idea. It would be odd for the eldest son of the Tonos to be entrusted to the Arimas forever. Now that father has passed away, the only Tonos by blood are you and I, Nissan. I don't know what father was thinking when he entrusted you to the Arimas, but he's no longer with us, so there's no longer any need for you to live with them. That is why I had you come back here.
That's all well and good, but I'm quite surprised you were able to get our relatives to agree to this. Wasn't it they who come up with the idea of leaving me with the Arimas in the first place?
That may be so, but now I am the head of the Tono family. I declined every one of the proposals from our relatives. I would like you to continue living here, Nissan, but this is a place with rules. You will avoid living the overly casual lifestyle you've been leading up until now.
I'm afraid that isn't going to happen, Akiha. There's no way I can go back to being some well-mannered gentleman now. Not that I want to.
I will not ask more of you, but do try to. Or are you saying you are unable to do what I already have?
Akiha shoots me a cold look. It feels like she's hitting me with her grudge against me for leaving her here for the last 8 years. Alright, I get it. I'll try my best. Akiha just stares at me as if she doesn't quite believe me.
You do not need to try as long as you get the results.
Her pose is dignified, her words merciless.
Let's get back to the topic. Right now, you and I are the only ones living here. I do not care for having too many people around, so I cleared everyone out.
Eh? Hold on a second, Akiha. You cleared everyone out?
You wouldn't want to run into one of our relatives in the mansion, would you, Nissan? I have put off most of the servants, but there are enough for you and I, so there are no problems.
Wait, no problems? You're gonna get attacked at our family meeting if you do something like that.
Oh, please be quiet. Rather than have the mansion overflowing with people, wouldn't you feel more relaxed with just the two of us here?
Well, it's true that I would feel relaxed, but you've only just become head of the family, Akiha. If you go around abusing your powers like some kind of dictator, our relatives are not going to keep quiet. Even the old man didn't go against their opinions.
Indeed. That's why Father entrusted you to the Arimas. I, on the other hand, have despised them ever since I was a child. I am not going to put up with their whining any longer.
Not going to put up with... Look, Akiha.
Ah, enough! Just listen. You don't have to worry about me. Please just worry about your own life from now on, Nissan. I can see it's going to be difficult for you in many ways.
Akiha says sullenly, looking away a little.
Now then, if there's anything you don't understand, ask her, Hisui.
She looks at the girl standing by her side. The girl called Hisui bows expressionlessly.
This is Hisui. She will be your personal maid from now on. Is that acceptable?
Eh? Hold on. Personal maid? You mean...
In other words, she's your servant.
Akiha declares as if it were obvious. I can't believe it. Fitting with the Western style of the house, the girl in the maid outfit stands there as if it is natural to do so. Hold on. I'm not a kid, you know. I don't need a servant. I can take care of myself.
Would that include the cooking and the laundry?
Erg. Akiha is pretty sharp at pointing these things out.
At any rate, now that you've returned to this house, you will obey my directions. I don't know how you lived at the Arima house, but you're living at the Tono house now. Please accept everything given to you.
Erg. I can't say anything, and my eyes drift towards Hisui. As expected, she simply looks back at me expressionlessly like a doll.
Well then, Hisui, please show Nissan to his room. Yes, my lady.
Hisui approaches me with a shadow-like lack of presence.
I will guide you to your room, Shiki-sama.
Hisui heads towards the lobby. Sighing, I head off towards the lobby as well. We enter the lobby. This mansion is split into east and west wings with the lobby in the middle. The lobby is like the body of a bird whose wings are the halls, extended diagonally to the east and west. Each wing is about the size of a small hospital. I remember the house is constructed symmetrically, so both the east and west wings have the same floor plan.
Your room is this way, Shiki-sama.
Hisui climbs up a flight of stairs. It seems like my room is on the second floor. Come to think of it, the servants' room should be on the first floor of the wing, so that's probably where Hisui and Kohaku-san's rooms are. Outside, the sun is already set. The girl in the maid uniform walks down the long, dimly lit hallway without a word. It kind of feels like a wonderland. Without thinking, I let my thoughts slip out.
Did you say something, Shiki-sama?
Hisui stops and looks back at me. No, I'm just talking to myself. Don't worry about it. After staring at me, Hisui bows and starts walking again. I guess this is what they call being at a loss for words. The room Hisui led me to is not one made for a mere high school student to live in. Is this my room?
Yes. If you are displeased with it, I can arrange a different one for you.
No, there's no way I could be displeased with it. It's just a little, no, really too fancy for me.
Shiki-sama?
It's fine. I'll gladly use this room.
Yes. This room has not been touched since 8 years ago, so I do not believe you'll find anything unsatisfactory with it.
Huh? There's something a little odd about the way Hisui said that. It's as if she was implying this was once my room. Hey, Is this by any chance my old room?
That is what I have been told. Am I mistaken?
Hisui inclines her head to the side slightly. I feel relieved. It seems this girl can express emotion after all. Well, it might be, now that you mention it. I do remember it faintly, so it must be so. I can't feel any sense of familiarity about this place at all, but I guess that's what it's like after you leave a place for 8 years. I can't get settled here, though. I was living in a 6.5 mat-sized room until this morning. It's like I'm staying in some high-class hotel.
I understand how you feel, but please try to get used to it. From today onwards, you are the eldest son of the Tono house, Shiki-sama.
You're right. I've got to do my best so I at least look like it on the outside. With a thump, I drop my bag on the table and stretch my back. I've been feeling a little stressed out with everything that's happened so far, but I guess I've got no choice but to adjust from today onwards.
Shiki-sama, all of your luggage has been brought here. Is there anything more you require?
No, not really. Why do you ask?
There was very little delivered. If there's anything you need, I can have it prepared, so please do not hesitate to ask.
I see. No, I don't need anything more for now. I didn't have much luggage to begin with. My luggage is just this bag, these glasses, and the textbooks in my bag, and that white ribbon with an unidentified owner. That's all. Anyways, you don't have to worry about the luggage. This fancy room is more than enough for me.
I understand. Well then, I shall come to call you in an hour's time.
An hour? For dinner, you mean?
Yes. Please relax until then.
As expected, Hisui says everything with an expressionless face, but even if she tells me to relax, just how am I supposed to do that here? The clock says it's 6 o'clock. Usually I'd be watching TV in the sitting room around this time, but I'm having serious doubts as to whether there's any such thing in this mansion. Hisui, I know it's kind of a trivial thing to ask about, but is there a television in this mansion?
A television?
Hisui's eyes narrow slightly. I know I'm the one who asked, but it really is a stupid question. I feel there's something wrong with asking about the presence of a TV in a luxurious mansion like this. Hisui makes a rare, troubled face and stares off into space.
There is no television in the sitting room. Some of the visitors did make use of one, but when they departed, they packed it up with their luggage and took it back with them, so I do not believe there are any remaining. They stole our televisions!
Hold on. Visitors? Like who? For how long?
Relatives. The eldest son of Kugimine-sama from a branch of the family, Tozaki-sama's third daughter and her fiancé, and Hishima-sama's eldest son came to stay for close to 3 years.
3 years, huh? Hisui, that's what you call freeloaders, not visitors. Hisui does not reply. No matter what kind of people these freeloaders were, it seems that servants can't say anything bad about them. Well, at any rate, it seems like those relatives had brought and taken back their own luggage with them. My old man hated the products of modern culture, thinking them all vulgar. There was no way he would ever watch TV. Akiha, who'd been educated by him for the last 8 years, would probably be the same. Well, it's not like I'll die without one. Hisui is silent. Like a perfect example for servants, Hisui says nothing unless she's being asked a direct question. This is, of course, kind of depressing for me. I want to make that expressionless face break into a smile somehow, but that seems impossible with just any old half-hearted effort. Oh, there was a library on the first floor of the West Wing, wasn't there? Maybe I'll go find something to read when I have some free time. Hisui does not reply. She just stands there in the doorway. I can't even tell where she's looking. Hisui? Hisui doesn't say a word. Suddenly she looks straight at me.
I believe there is one in Mason's room.
Huh? I have no idea what she's talking about. There's one of what?
A television. I remember seeing one in Mason's room.
Hisui says as if remembering something from many years ago. Hold on, Mason? Don't tell me you're talking about Kohaku-san.
Yes. Right now, the only people working in this mansion are Nason and I.
Now that she mentions it, they do look alike. Oh, did you just notice? I just couldn't connect them as sisters because Kohaku-san is always smiling so warmly, and Hisui is always expressionless. There is a trope for that. Red oni, blue oni, hot and cold, that sort of thing. I see. Kohaku-san does look like the type of person who'd watch those variety shows. But I balk at going to Kohaku-san's room to tell her, let me watch your TV. Sorry, just forget I ever asked. After all, I'll be living here from now on, so I've got to follow the rules of the mansion. God knows what sort of cynical comment I'd be in for from Akina if I started watching television. It seems I'll be leading a scholarly student life fit for a member of the Taro family from now on. Alright, I'll be in my room until dinner, so just come and call me when it's time. You've got other things to do, don't you, Hisui? Hisui nods in assent and turns around. Silently opening the door, she leaves the room. Dinner takes place with Aki and I being face to face.
So, we'll have to see about dinner time with the siblings for next time. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope this was entertaining. Hope you have a good one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!